Hello, my name is Paul Draper, and welcome to Intro to Juggling. Today we are studying Juggling, Intro to Juggling 101. So the first thing that you're going to need is you're going to need to procure something you can juggle with. Before you run off, let me give you a few suggestions of things you can grab. Now, if you have juggling balls, that's wonderful. A key is you don't want something that's going to bounce. So you don't want tennis balls because they're going to bounce away from you. So something more like a hacky sack or a bean bag or something squishy is going to be better. If you don't have hacky sack or bean bag, may I suggest you go get some socks. These socks don't match. You can roll them up into a sock ball, and you can have your perfect little sock ball, and your sock balls will allow you to juggle. It will make it easier if your socks are approximately the same size and weight. So you don't have little socks and big socks, thick socks and light socks, but you have consistent socks that are wrapped up. If you don't have socks, there's another thing that I've done before. You can go get a hair tie like this and a little face rag. Wrap up the little face rag and then wrap this up so that the rubber band goes one way and then the other, so that you have an X over the ball like that, and that will allow you to juggle that. Go take a couple of moments. You might want to pause this if they let you, and go find some juggling balls or go grab some juggling socks. Do 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 do. Here, I'll juggle for a minute while you do that. So this is what we're going to learn to do today. Right here, this is the goal of what we're going to learn. Now, one problem I have in the studio where I'm shooting today is that I have very low ceilings. So if I stand up straight like this, I'm off screen. So I'm literally going down slightly into the splits here for the class today, but that's fine. So I have the juggling balls, and we're going to learn how to do this. Why do we want to learn how to juggle? Because in lots of shows that we want to get cast for, we'll show up to those auditions and there will be someone who looks just like us. There'll be someone who sounds as good as us. They're as good of a singer as we are, as good of an actor as we are, as good of their resume is as good as ours. There's good of all the skills that are required. And sometimes a special skill can set you apart, especially in shows like Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum or Pippin, or so many shows where they need a specialty character, lots of Shakespearean roles playing Feste or different clowns, where that special added skill is going to make the difference between being cast and not. So just to give you a little bit of my background before we start this, for several years I was the house magician at the Venetian in Las Vegas, where they insisted that I perform as a 1400s Roman Catholic Italian dude. Buongiorno, miei amici, mi chiamo Paolo. I'm a cheer for you, canzone for you. Che bella cosa, una giornata di sole, un'aria serena, una tempesta, and so on. I was also the last magician to perform at Disneyland before the pandemic. They shut down the gates at Disneyland, and there were still thousands of guests in the parks. And they asked me if I could stand in front of the gates and perform for the guests. So for a few days, I was literally the magic of Disney. But I grew up in Utah. I went to Holiday Elementary and Cottonwood Elementary, then Olympus Junior High and Olympus High School, then the University of Utah, Weber State University, then went down to teach at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Also had a career in theatrical productions. I did some touring productions and some off-Broadway productions, and even represented Studio 54 at sea on the Azamara Cruise Line, and that's one of the big venues in New York City is Feinstein's 54 Below, and they had me. That's a Broadway venue, and had me cabaret venue where Broadway actors sing and perform, and they had me represent them all over the world. So these variety skills, though, like you, I originally started out wanting to be a full-time musical theater actor. I changed, and the variety arts, the allied arts, are what really spoke to me and have taken me all over the world and given me the homes and cars that I have and the career and life that I've enjoyed. So, we're going to get started. My hope is that now that I've done all of that blah, 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 you have had a moment to go off and find some juggling balls or some juggling socks. This is the key. When I say pause, you pause along with me. What we're going to learn today is how to do this style of juggling. We are not learning how to do this style of juggling until maybe right at the end. So we need to focus on the right kind of throw. At every step of learning a new skill, the key is to perfect the skill at the level that you're studying it. Perfect that first skill and then move on to the next one. Then once you start to get a handle on the second part of the skill, go back to the first part and perfect it even more, and then move back to where you were. Then you move to the third skill, and then you step back to the second, or step back to the first and perfect it. That's like sharpening the knife for a chef. It's getting each piece perfect so that it's not a mess at the end. So here's the first step. I want everybody to stand with your legs a little bit apart, Take your scissor fingers like this. Snip under your armpits, snip, like you're cutting the strings. I have no strings to hold me down, to make me smile, to make me frown. So take your arms and stretch out like this. Stretch out like this, stretch out. Get your 6 feet of distance. Excellent. Stretch out like that. Good. Now we're going to do a swooping motion with our arms where we swoop down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up. Swoop down and up, bend your knees, swoop down and up, like you're scooping water, down and up, and down and up, and down and up. All right. Why do we do this? Because the first throw needs to be an across the body, like the down and up. Underhanded throw, underhanded throw. So if you're looking forward like this, I'm just in blue jeans down here, but if you're doing an underhanded throw, not an overhanded throw, right? You understand the difference between underhand and overhand. So, and that underhand is going to go across the body. See how it comes across my body like this. You want to go across the body and not over the head. So this is a rainbow. We don't want the rainbow. The rainbow is overhand. See how that's overhand. Overhand is the rainbow. Do not do the rainbow, even though that's probably what you're most comfortable with. We want an underhand, like the underthrow, so it makes a cross across the body. If you do not get this correct, you will not be able to do the next step, and it will all fall apart. So, get it where it's going across the body, just like this. Great. Perfect. Across the body, and make an X. You want to make an X. See how it goes to the shoulder? Whoop. I was watching the camera. It goes to the shoulder and to the shoulder. It's making a V underneath your face. It's not crossing your face. It's not going above your face. It's making an X across your body, a V underneath your face. Do you see that? Make that V underneath your face. One of the hard parts with this is we start to have our hands climb up. We start to go higher and higher like this. But you instead need to, as best you can, release the ball at about your belly button height. So the ball gets released and gets released. So we're actually getting it up in the air. And you want it at least the height of your head. Do you see how that's going? Maybe just a little bit higher than my head, but not way higher than my head. We want it about to stay inside the screen, right? Want it about the height of your head, and make that V underneath yourself and toss it, release it lower to make it go higher. Perfect. So the hands come down. Good. So we'll keep doing this, and you can watch it for a minute. Pause for a moment. Something to understand. You can watch one ball. You can watch one ball. See how I watched and I watched, right? You can watch 2 balls. 1, 2. 1, 2. But you can't watch 3 balls. It's too much to watch. So when I was performing at the Venetian, very often they would have me perform in the suites and for celebrities and for royalty and famous people from around the world. And a big part of that was I had to make eye contact with them while I was juggling. You can see with the camera here, I'm making eye contact with you while I juggle, right? Sul mare luccica l'astro d'argento, placida l'onda, prosper il vento. Okay, so I'm not watching the ball. This is what we're going to do now to practice the fact that you don't have to watch the ball. What I'd like you to do in your space is take your ball and toss it a few feet away from yourself. Toss it on the ground. Once you've tossed it there, look at it. Think about how many steps it's going to take you to get from where you are to where that ball is. Imagine it. Then shut your eyes, walk over there, keep your eyes shut, reach down, pick it up, and then see how close you got. Don't do it till I finish the instructions. Don't reach around like this. Don't go, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Just shut your eyes, walk over, put your hand down, then open your eyes and see how close you got. This is a fun exercise because if you do this a couple of times, you will find that at least 1 out of 3 times of doing it, you will get exactly to where the ball is with your eyes closed without even trying. So I'd like you to do this 3 times. Throw the ball out ahead of you, shut your eyes, imagine, think about how far it is, walk over there, reach down, see how close you got. Then put the ball back and do it again. We'll wait just a second while you do that. If I were a rich man, idle deedle deedle ding a ding a deedle diddle dum, all day long I'd biddy biddy bum. If I were a wealthy man. I'm shooting this right after Christmas time, so I still have my winter wonderland up here. Christmas trees for Christmas, a Hanukkah there, a menorah for Hanukkah. I have tinsel back here, the candy canes, a wreath for solstice, so everybody's included. There are 27 winter holidays all in the winter time, so hard to get everybody. The over there off screen, we're celebrating Kwanzaa, but we have lots of different holidays that we all celebrate to include everyone. All right, so now you've tried that a couple of times. Let's get back to the single ball. Take your single sock or your single ball, and again, we want to get that. I'll go to a sock here for a minute. We want to get that height. Want to get that release and that height to the shoulder. Throw it to the shoulder. Throw it to the shoulder, throw it to the shoulder, throw it to the shoulder. Again, if you find yourself doing the rainbow toss, you got to stop. You got to stop and restart. Go back to doing the scoops back and forth because the rainbow toss is going to give you problems later on. It's got to be that V under the neck, the X in front of the body. Just like that, just like that. Perfect. The second phase is hard. It is time for 2 balls. Before you do it, watch me first. The instinct is going to be to do 2 balls at the same time, like this. The problem with doing 2 balls at the same time is that you do not have any space to get the 3rd ball in. And so if you do 2 balls at the same time, you will never move past 2 balls. The second problem that lots of people are going to have here is because their whole lives they've done this rainbow handoff, rainbow handoff, rainbow handoff, that your body will want to do this because that's what you're used to doing. So, this is the correct action in order to learn how to juggle. First, we take this ball, the 1 ball, and we go right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. And you notice that with one ball, you are able to throw it in the air with both hands. You are able to throw it up with both tosses, right, left, right. When you get the second ball, some of you are going to do this, right? I don't know what to do, right? I can't throw it. You have to throw it. You have to go 1, 2, 1, 2, both underhanded, both across the body in that V, both at equal height. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Some of you will say, I can't do it. My less dominant hand won't throw it in the air. If you find yourself doing that, go back to one ball and realize, oh, wait a minute. My left hand or my right hand, whichever is your less dominant hand, can throw it in the air from both sides. But why does our brain stop us? It's a very strange thing. We go, I got to catch it. No, you don't catch it. We're not doing catch at the same time. We're going 1, 2, 1, 2. The higher you throw the ball, the more time you will have to catch it, because gravity is consistent everywhere on the planet. So it takes a consistent amount of time for that to come down. So if you throw it shorter, shallower, you have to catch it faster. Boom, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But if you throw it higher, 1, 1, 1, even higher, 1, 1, right? So little tosses give you this problem. Bum, 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 right? I can do it even smaller and tighter, right? Bum, 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 right? Or bigger tosses give you bum, 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 right? More time. So time it out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Make that V underneath your neck. Have them cross your body. If you catch yourself doing this, stop. Have a friend help you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. For the basses, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. For the tenors, 1, 2. Just joking. So now we're ready for Jersey Boys. Walk like a man, talk like a man. So good. If you're finding that you're flinging the ball forward, key is to keep your hands cupped. You want to keep that cup in your hand as much as possible. If the ball is flying forward, that's because the fingers are flailing out like this, and the ball flies off the tips of the fingers away from you, as opposed to cupped. So the correct position, let's go back to one ball for a second. Watch how my hand stays cupped. It sort of stays cupped the entire time like that, right? But I want to release lower. Boop. I'm just doing it for the camera to be seen. But it stays cupped the whole time. I don't let it flail forward. If you find you're flailing too far forward and the balls are always going, so you have to travel with them, sometimes I've found going up against a wall helps me. So that if I'm right up against a wall, if I throw the ball forward, it bounces off the wall and I know to pull it back. If you are finding that it's too emotionally difficult because you are dropping the ball too much, stand over a couch or over a bed so you don't have to bend all the way down to the floor to pick up the ball, so that it falls onto the couch or onto the bed, and then you can just reach down and pick it up. I've found that that's something that helps me. All right, if you have trouble with 2, keep going back to 1. If you find you're not throwing the balls at all, there's some people that can't get the ball out. You have to throw it. You just have to throw it. Even if you don't catch it, just throw correctly. Go 1, 2, throw correctly. Even if you don't catch it, throw correctly. So sometimes you're scared to throw that second ball because you aren't ready to catch it yet. So just go 1, 2, throw correctly. Toss them out there. Okay? If you need to go back to one ball, go back to one ball. Practice at 1. See that both hands can get it equally as high. See that both hands can throw it across the body as opposed to rainbowing above. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. All right, it's time for the next step. Ooh, scary next step. Are you ready? If you aren't, it's okay. There are lots of great juggling videos out there that you can continue to watch and can help you. But I want to discuss the third step. The third step here, let's do this step first. Choose a ball that's going to be your starter ball. So in this case, I'll have the sock be my starter ball. Right now, most of us are doing this. We're going first ball, second ball, reset. And we go right hand, right, left, right hand, right, left, right hand, right, left. We start with our dominant hand every single time. What I'd like you to do this time is instead switch hands that you start with. This will help you in a moment. So watch as I follow the ball. Right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. This is harder than it looks, and I know that. But just call out the sides, and even stop and hold it up like that. So go right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. Perfect. You want to practice that for a minute. If you're interested in learning about the history of juggling, a great book that recently came out is Juggling, From Antiquity to the Middle Ages, right there. I didn't write it. I don't make any money on it. But one of the fun things about it, I particularly like this timeline that shows that we have images of jugglers going back at least 4,000 years to ancient Egypt. And juggling is invented all over the world. The Aztecs performing for the Pope, right? We have juggling invented all over the world as independent invention. We have the first juggler we know of in England in 166 CE, which is Common Era, versus in Greece and Rome 470 BCE, before Common Era, right there, and in China 603 BCE. But those are just what we found in the written record. This is it's very hard to find where juggling started or who the first juggler was. So, third step. Whew. 2 balls in your dominant hand. 1 ball at the front, 1 ball at the back. You don't have them side by side like this. It's 1 in the front, 1 in the back. This is a particular time where flailing the fingers out at the front is going to cause you a problem. It's going to cause you a problem. So make sure to keep the hands cupped. You throw the one at the tips of the finger, the one furthest away from you, first. So you throw the one furthest away from you at the tips of the dominant hand first. 1, 2, 3. Juggling music is the bum bum ba da 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 dum bum ba dum, the circus music, and that's also the rhythm of juggling. Watch. Bum bum ba da 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 dum bum ba dum bum bum ba da 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 dum bum ba dum, and on and on and on. Bum bum bum, and if we do it lower, right, it's faster. Bum bum ba da da dum bum ba da bum bum ba da da dum bum ba dum, or higher. Bum bum ba da 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 dum bum ba dum. But you lose control as it goes higher or lower. You want to try and keep it about the height of your head throughout all of this. If you're having trouble, again, getting it, these underhanded throws back and forth, sometimes even having a friend stand and hold a book right here. If you hold a book right there, then you can't, and they say to you, don't toss it over the book. You have to toss it under. So imagine this book is right here. Imagine someone's holding a book right there. That would force me to toss all the balls under the book, right? As opposed to tossing it over. And sometimes having a buddy help in that way can help you. Okay, so here we go. The toss is more important than the catch. So the front, then the other hand, then the back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A lot of people right now are finding themselves in this situation. 1, 2, I can't. 1, 2, oh, I can't. 1, 2, no! you have to throw that third ball. So even if you don't catch it, again, just like before, even if you don't catch it, just toss it. 1, 2, 3, just toss them and then pick them up. Stand over a bed, stand over a couch, so you don't have to bend all the way down to the ground if it bothers you, but toss them. Get them out of your hands. The toss is more important than the catch. 1, 2, 3, just toss them. 1, 2, 3. And then pick them up and go again. If you're having trouble with that, go back to 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, and switch hands. 1, 2, 1, 2. If you're having trouble with that, go back to 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. And with juggling 3, it's bum, bum, ba-da-da-da-dum, bum, ba-dum. So, how do you do it after the first toss of 3? Many people, again, will do this. If you're throwing it forward, cup your hand more. If you're throwing it way too far forward and you can't cup your hand, go stand right up against a wall. So you're going to hit your hand on the wall if you keep tossing it forward, or it's going to bounce off the wall and that'll force you to bring it back. If you're walking too much forward with it, you'll find that's one of the problems too. So just throw them, just release them. But those of you that are able to do it, my hope is you're pausing as you go along with this, is go bum, 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 3. 1, 2, 3, reset. 1, 2, 3, reset. Okay, so to get it to keep going, you have to count to 4. So the balls stay in the air. Go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're back at the start. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you'll eventually go to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And onward until it just goes on its own. So, my goal with all of this is that you will learn how to juggle. Let's talk about some ways to juggle, because we have some more time, in case that's just impossible for you. If you cannot get out of the habit of the rainbow toss, you start with 2 balls in your dominant hand, you throw them over the top like this, and you create this circle effect that goes around your face. My left hand is slightly higher than my right hand, and it tosses the balls over. Another option is to do things like this, where in this hand you bounce them back and forth, and can do this sort of mirror thing here, or a yo-yo effect over there. Another fun thing is mixing the 2 styles for what's called the tennis court, where one ball goes over the top. So it's underhand, 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 overhand, underhand, 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 overhand, underhand, 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 overhand. Then you make it go back and forth both ways. So all of these are underhand, and then it's overhand, 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 right? And it bounces back and forth as you go. That's very good. That's very fun to be able to do that. If you want to do 4 balls, the balls never cross. 2 balls in one hand go like this, and 2 balls in the other hand go like that. So you have 2 balls in one hand going at the same time that 2 balls are going in the other hand. And that's how you do 4. And then 5 goes back to a crisscross, then 6 is 3 and 3. It would be very difficult for me to juggle clubs, because again, my ceiling is right there. But to give an idea of clubs in our last couple of minutes, the club right there, you want to get it in the middle of the club. Not back here, not back there at the back, but right there in the middle. And you toss it in the same way. That's just a single spin. You toss it in the same way across the body, underhanded, while giving it one single spin right there. With 2, it's the same thing that we did with the balls, but 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I just fear I'm going to mess up. I'm going to mess up, and it's on video forever. Let me go down lower. I am literally going down into the splits, and I'm a big heavy set guy. Okay, let's do let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't have enough room. So, but you want to be able to go back and forth with those two clubs. In the same way, clubs or pins. So, thank you for coming with me on the journey of 3-ball juggling. And let me give you some other places you can look for juggling information. One of my favorite teachers on the internet right now is Taylor Tries. Taylor Glenn grew up in Utah as well, and she has a whole series of juggling instructional videos online under Taylor Tries. For more complex juggling, there's a great juggler by the name of Niels Dunker, who's originally out of Holland, but now lives in Las Vegas, and he has some really fun, complex stuff. The greatest juggler in the world is a man by the name of Anthony Gatto. And if you want to see some exceptional juggling, type in Anthony Gatto and see some of the things that he's done. He's just really an exceptional juggler, just beyond anyone else. Well, I'm Paul Draper. Thank you for coming on this journey with me, and I hope to see you in person soon. Bye, everybody.